Why We Do in the Shadows. Me, host always Bryan Dressel. With me, as always, is Joel DeWitte, Matt Dykes, and Andrew Staton.
I don't even get a zombie dog this week.
No, I just did none of them because I wanted to see if I could do it as fast as I could and enunciate everything. And I'm pretty sure Zombie Dog was going to fuck me up in the middle of your name, so I apologize. It's still Matt Zombie Dog Dykes, of course.
It is. Like,
don't worry,
efficiently.
I won't ever forget. But when I'm trying to talk as fast as I possibly can, I have to be cautious with my time.
Yeah, it's that Micro Machines life.
That zombie dog is implied. It's fine.
Yeah, the Zombie Dog is implied.
Ruh-roh.
So we're back for the final episode here of Who, What, When, Where, and Why I Do in the Shadows, which is a bit of a bummer. We might still come back into a season 2, which is a very strange thing to say at the end of season 2 finale. But a season 2 of our show and do seasons 3 and 4. But 4 is not out yet, and we don't know if we like it, so it's going to stay as a potential maybe for the time being. But before we move on to any of that, we got to start saying goodbye to this season, which is honestly it's a bit of a bummer.
Yeah.
I really like season 2. Which is kind of where I want to start with our wrap up this week. I want to do a round table. Compared to season 1, how do we guys feel about season 2?
It's at the very least on par with season 1, and I actually think it does manage to improve on season 1. As crazy as that is to think of, like, you know, of all the amazing episodes that are in season 1, I think there's some in season 2 that are just that much more better than they some of the season 1 episodes. Like, you know, like we got the Witches one. Like, you know, I sort of think of the Witches as kind of like the trial of season 2, and that last sort of like half of the episode of the Witches is just so funny.
Oh yeah, the last back half of that episode is not even the back half. I think the entire episode's pretty good because, like, you always forget about, like, you always remember them being like on trial with the witches, and then you kind of forget about the hallway of doors with Colin Robinson. It's like, oh no, everything in this episode is just amazing. Joel, Drew, what about you guys?
Yeah, no, I kind of feel the exact same way. Like, it definitely didn't go down. It's, I think, a bit of an improvement. But and the reasons for that are labeled in my notes that we were putting together. And I will say the Witches is on a lot of my notes.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the I think towards the end of season 1 and then season 2, like, they found their stride. Although that being said, and spoiler alert, like, my least favorite episodes are the first and last of season 2.
Oh, interesting. I mean,
Yeah,
those are
like,
those are like the middle of the pack for me, but interesting.
Yeah, I put them all on a list, and I was like, which one did I like best out of these? And then, like, this I found the top 10. Like, I'd cross off the one I liked best, and then I'd go down, because otherwise, like, trying to pick, like, look at all of them and just put them in an order was very tough for me. So I was like, I'm just gonna figure out which one I like best and go from there. And it turned.
I wish I'd done that. I just tortured myself.
I mean, to be fair, this is the second hardest top 10 I've had to do on these podcasts. I think Brian probably will know what the first hardest is, because that was just insanely difficult.
Oh, series wrap of Adventure Brothers, of course.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, that was impossible.
70 odd episodes, was it, or something? Get a top 10 list out of that. Fucking hell. I ended up like applying an actual mathematical scheme for that. It was
that one was rough.
top 10, or was it top 5?
It might have been top 5 because we didn't want to waste time. We had so much to
I
cover.
think it might have been.
Yeah, we made that thing real tough.
Yeah.
But Joel, what about you? What do you think? Season 2.
Oh, season 2 is a big leap ahead of season 1.
Yeah.
So I think to me, a big part of it is that all of the characters sort of come into their own in a big way. You know, most of the vampires had sort of a certain framework established, but all of the characters, including Guillermo, have grown and evolved in a way that feel like they're more fully fleshed out characters, and they better. I think the actors better understood the parameters of what makes their character, and then understood where they could sort of like toy out walking outside of those bounds, right? And I think another big part to me is that there are higher highs in this season than the first season, in my view. And there's enough of those really high points that it just makes it elevate the season overall for me, to where the low ones are probably on par with the low ones of season 1 to me. So it sort of averages out higher in that way for me.
Sure, I think I'm kind of on the same page you are. Like, I think comparing season 1 to season 2, I'm like, well, season 2 is clearly the better season. Like, I think it's leaps and bounds better. Although I think I might have laughed harder at some parts in season 1. Like the episode, like the Baron's Night Out, will always just destroy me when he's deflating like a balloon of puke while soaring all around. Like
Pizza pie.
like there's few
Totally worth it.
that will make me laugh as hard as that sequence. And I don't think there's anything in season 2 that got me that good, which is fine. Because I think overall I agree with you, Joel. Like my MVP for the season totally changed because last season I think Nadia was already at this level. Like I think that's why I liked her so much. She knew her character through and through, and that's why she was amazing in season 1. And then season 2, everyone else has figured out their characters, and now they're at her level. So like my MVP was allowed to change because she's not carrying the show in my book anymore.
Yeah.
So I think I agree with you kind of in the macro sense of like, yeah, no, this is definitely better. Even if I think there might be funnier things in season 1, if I have to pick one season to watch, I'm going to 2.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I just watch both of them and be like, fuck you and your rules.
I mean, yeah, I agree with you there too. Like I can watch both of these seasons back to back and just have absolute joy. And then I'll probably continue into season 3. We'll get to that kind of at the end of this, which I did not put on the script for everybody in this episode because I always do that. I always like to leave things off the script because I got to get your real responses, no calculated responses. But we'll get to that. Before we do, I think we should move on to MVP of the season. I think it'll be easier. I was going to go quotes first, but I think MVP will lead into quotes a little nicer. But we'll go in reverse order since I'm already kind of talking. So I'll go first. My MVP of this season was Laszlo, which I did not expect it to be Laszlo. When I think about it, because I love Matt Berry, so I always kind of take myself as like, oh, maybe I'm a bit biased, and I'm liking Laszlo just because it's Matt Berry. Going through the quotes, going through my episode ranking and everything, almost all of my decisions were based around something that happened to Laszlo and his response. So I'm like, I think that's my winner.
Yep.
Joel, you're up.
I'm with you. I think it's Laszlo. I think we should specify like Nadja is better in this season than last season.
Absolutely, yeah.
And part of it is that I think the show understands better how she needs to be integrated into different parts of the episodes. But Laszlo is just so persistently funny. And again, like it's not just the lines, it's the delivery, it's expressions on his faces as he says this stuff. And like almost, I don't know, there's such a dissonance between like his sort of prim and proper tone and just the completely despicable and crazy shit he says that that dissonance makes it all the more hilarious to me.
You mean like the remove your hand from my wife's ample but firm backside?
That may or may not have been in my short list of quotes.
Oh. Well, at least I knew exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So. Oh man, are we gonna keep the Laszlo train going, Matt, or do you have somebody else?
I would agree that Laszlo is the funniest, but in terms of MVP of the season, I kind of looked at it from a different angle. So I went with Guillermo, and the reason I went with Guillermo is because his arc throughout the season keeps pushing the overall story forward. Like this season is kind of Guillermo's story, and it's the story of Guillermo coming into his own and sort of accepting who he is, and not just being the familiar. He grows. He becomes this badass vampire hunter who also wants to be a vampire, and I think it's a really interesting take on the idea of a vampire hunter. You've got this vampire hunter who is just effortlessly killing.
There you go.
All these vampires. Nailed it. And but he wants to be a vampire, And I think it's such an interesting way of approaching that. Like, you know, I've never seen a series or a film ever do that. Like, you have a vampire hunter who wants to be a vampire. You know, they always hate vampires, and that's why they're vampire hunters. And it's kind of like, you know, Guillermo's this reluctant vampire hunter who's just really fucking good at it. And yeah, so like in terms of like the MVP of the season, I think it has to be Guillermo just because of that element of it. In terms of like funniness, I would agree 100% Laszlo, because every hilarious moment he's around there for some reason. Like the Witches one, yes, Nadja is hilarious in that episode, but it's her reaction to Laszlo as well, and things like that. And then of course you've got Jackie Daytona and all that other crazy stuff.
Oh my god!
I think that's a really good angle to take it from Matt. And I think one example that I love bringing up when I think about that is the episode of Witches, when they first get stuck into that endless door hallway, and Nadja and Colin are just like haranguing him the whole time, and then finally he's just like, "Fuck you guys."
Yeah,
you know, the sort of like brazen really coming to his own side effect of him winning that negotiation with Nandor, and he has the most character development. I agree.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Matt, there. But yeah, I'm not going to change my answer from Laszlo. But I think if we're doing this for season 3, or if we ever do this for season 3, everything you just said, I would just basically copy and paste and say for him in season 3. But I totally
I've got it written down for you, then, isn't it?
I mean, you know, I'll have the file. I can transcribe it later. It'll be fine.
Just put it on voice to text.
Yeah, there you go. That'll
Easier.
Work perfectly.
That'll work perfectly with my Yorkshire accent.
You know, it's funny because I was watching over some of the episodes again last night. I watched like 4 or 5 of them just because I had to figure out which were my favorites. And I actually tried for some of the quotes. I actually just put my phone on voice to text, and it did not work at all. I was ready to, I had to type them all out. I was like, this is bullshit.
Technology has failed me.
Yeah, god damn it. But yeah, actually, pretty much exactly what Matt said is my answer. Guillermo was my MVP. His story arc, like he's just working so goddamn hard this entire season with like everything he has to do, because he's fighting the the familiar stereotype. He's literally fighting the Vampiric Council, but he's fighting the stereotype. He's fighting to be included as one of the group a little bit more, which he finally achieves in season 3, which is great. But yeah, that's my answer. Guillermo for MVP for the season. He was just he was the push that everybody else was using their reactive humor on in a lot of ways in this season.
Yeah, and you know, as a podcast here, I'm rather happy with that 2-way tie of Laszlo and Guillermo. Like, especially for season 2, that feels like a pretty fair tie. I think it works. Poor Nandor is never going to win.
Well, no. Weirdly though, I have a mental image in my head. I've got a tennis court with 2 Laszlos on one side and 2 Guillermos on the other side. It's a very strange mental image.
It'd be hilarious.
And all of them are doing equally as bad.
Yeah, they're all just like
Nandor
be the ball and
playing
just hitting
tennis
the
very
net
well
each time.
Can we set that up in Wii Sports or something? Like,
that would be brilliant.
That's amazing.
Then I can't have my Nandor ball boy though. Knock the ball far away. Fucking guy.
Fucking guy.
All right, let's move on to quotes. I think we best just kind of like rattle them off. Do we want to keep pinging around, or should we change the order up?
We could start with quote 2 and then go.
No.
Let's
Let's change the order of who's going. Matt usually has a lot of thought put into his quotes, and then he usually gets mad that he has to do only his 3 right away. So let's make Matt go first.
You're such a dick.
I mean, I knew it was coming up. I knew there was going to be some sort of dig at me in there somewhere, because it's Bryan. And,
Matt,
he is a
please tell me that all your quotes are just one word, and you're just gonna rattle them off right now just to spite him.
Well, 2 of them are bat, so
Unfortunately not. No.
Swing and a hit.
So, yeah, number 3 is no one here knows I'm a vampire, apart from the people I've drained and killed, but they're dead now, so that problem's pretty much solved itself. Number 2 is, we don't know that is your exact village. That is my village flag on fire in the painting. Well, the pillaging could have been done by anyone. We cannot go jump into conclusions that I am to blame. He's right, my darling. We've got no evidence that that was him. Then what the fuck is Persian Frank Zappa doing on a horse? Yeah, that's him. Don't know why, but Persian Frank Zappa just kills me. Because that is exactly what Nandor looks like.
It hits you right in the cockles of the heart.
Yep. And then
just Matt Berry's. Yep, that's him.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah. And
argue with
then
that.
and then with number 1, she has long dark hair. Have you slept with her? Hello, Judith. What? I believe. Nando's got long dark hair and an accent. Have you slept with him? And Laszlo just sort of shrugs. I can't believe. Piss this. You're welcome to his Siemens.
that's a perfect example of Laszlo emoting without words and it conveying the perfect response.
Oh my God, yes. Here, I'm gonna go next because I have a little bit of overlap with Matt, and
Let me guess. Is it the Judith one?
we'll get there. So I'm gonna go with my. I did my quotes a little bit differently, and it was I went for any quote that just stayed in my head, like well after the season. Like I didn't want to go through my notes. I didn't want to go through anything. Just when I think season 2, what were the quotes that just never left my head that I actually bring up? And that's what I thought would be like. Those were my best quotes because the ones that obviously stuck with me the most. So my number 1 quote, or my number 3 quote, sorry, of the year was Mark Hamill ordering 1 human alcohol beer, please.
Beverage.
Because it's just so good. And I just want to go to bars every time and order like that now. just hoping that either they're both in on the joke and will laugh, or not in on the joke and go, what the fuck? Either way, it's great for me.
Yeah, either way, that's a win.
You should go dressed in like old timey clothes as well, like a vampire.
I absolutely should. I have a coat, like the coat with tails. I have one of those, and a top hat. I have plenty of stuff to make this happen.
Just don't
I
wear
don't have
two.
a cape. I need a cape.
Just don't wear 2 frills. They'll think you're up for anything.
That's true.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I'm a 1 frill man.
I'm a 2 frill man.
I knew you were.
I think we all knew you were.
So my number
You all
2
know
quote.
me so well.
My number 2 quote is the last line of the season, and it's just amazing. What a line to go out on. I don't give a fuck what your name is. We had to pick up our laundry.
That almost made my list.
It's just such a strong end. Like, there's no way I could forget that line because it's just so damn good.
Yeah. And it just undercuts that badass, like, my last name's De La Cruz, or like this big accent moment that's meant to highlight, like, I am here and I am a badass.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck.
My
It's
name is
just
Guillermo de
delivered
la
so
Cruz.
well, too. Guillermo crushes that. My name is Guillermo de la Cruz. Like, oh, wow.
And it's like, wow. And it's like, because you got that lingering moment where it just like holds on him as well, looking really badass. And then it's like literally just there in the background. Don't give a fuck who you are. We have to pick up our own laundry.
So, yeah, that one clearly had to take a top spot. And then my number 1, Matt already quoted it way better than I have, which is why I wanted to go immediately after him. I'm just going to take what Matt said and just say my quote was literally just Laszlo's shrug. That's what got me. It wasn't all the lines around it are great, but it's quite literally like, Nandor has long dark hair and an accent. If you slept with him, shrug. It's just too good.
It's the
I
same.
thought it was going to be the Hello Judith bit.
That was really close to the Hello Judith. That one's so
Hello,
good,
Judith?
but it's that shrug is just so good. There's just 10,000 words said in one little.
Yep.
It's like Nadia's like little shake of her head when it's like, nothing to do with me. In season 1, when you're talking about the werewolf trap, like they're just so good at it.
Oh yeah.
And that's the same feeling we get when they're stuck in the well. And he's like, we never really got on. Oh, that's it. Like,
Oh
That's
God,
brilliant.
I forgot about that.
I was really close. Like, was it last season? The one where they're pulling out all the naked photos of Nadia, and they're like, "Don't look at that." And then she shows the camera with a big slap happy grin. Like that was almost a quote for me too. And it's like I love these nonverbal, just total reaction moments because they just destroy me. And that one for me is the best. It's just nothing but Matt Berry just going, It's like,
Yeah.
fuck, that's funny.
Like the sight gags that this show does are sometimes funnier than just the quote, like the lines themselves. Like it's really visually comedic, I think, and it does it really well. The visual comedy.
Yeah. All right, Joel.
All right. Okay. So I've got this is tough. All right. Just as like we mentioned, I've got a few I could rattle off, but we already sort of touched on one. So one of them is from Brain Scramblies, and Laszlo and Nandor are in the bathroom talking about how they need to
That nearly made my list. That's
get that
so-
figured out, get
Yeah.
their friends knowing their secret figured out. And somebody knocks on the door, and Laszlo goes, "Occupado," like trying to sort of, like he has to think for half a second, he says that. And then Nandor follows up with, "Yes, we are taking a nice shit together." and the word, the name, the quote itself is funny, but it's also Laszlo just like rolling his eyes like, "I can't believe you just did that," on top of it.
Like, I clearly had this handled with Occupado.
Right. Yeah.
see, and the best part of that one for me is the response. We're just, I'll come back.
Yes.
And then later on in the episode as well, it's like we're just having a nice human shit together.
My God.
The second one, I think it's the one Colin's promotion, and Laszlo says something like, "That man's a wild card," and then Nadja goes, "He's not a wild card. He's the card on top of the deck with the instructions printed on."
That you throw away.
That you throw away.
Yeah.
That nailing it made my list as well. That was on my list for a bit.
I'm gonna really. There's one line that none of us have brought up that I'm gonna be a little disappointed if it doesn't make the list of anyone's, but we'll see.
I'm guessing.
Continue, Joel.
I'm guessing I'm not going to be on that list. The last one here was something that's like it's very in the background, and so just the fact that I caught it at the right time, it slays me each time. But it's the one with that. I think it's what episode? The curse, and Guillermo's trying to call the vampires to warn them that they're heading to their house. And he gets voicemail, and the voicemail message says something like, "You've reached the residence of Nandor, Nadja, Laszlo," and then you hear Collins and Robinson just yell in the background, "And Colin Robinson."
Oh, God.
That is like, and it's such a goddamn funny joke that just gets steamrolled
Yeah.
by the joke immediately following it, which is also ridiculously funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like Guillermo's entire voicemail, and then ending with "This is not a joke," is so funny.
But it's such a small thing that, like you said, everything on top of it to make it easy to overlook it or not recognize it being there. But just the one time I caught it there, I had to pause and rewind it so Kelly could hear it too.
Like I equate that to being like as funny, like
I've lost Bryan.
side-splittingly funny
I can't
as
hear
like
Bryan
Drew
at all.
catching the hat crawling away after Laszlo in the Night Out episode. Like we're just chasing after the cab that Laszlo's connected to. Like it's just one of those like if you don't pay attention, you're gonna miss it. But if you do, holy shit, is it funny?
I think that, I can't remember. I think that might have been my favorite moment of that episode. The hat just like,
Just slinking back to him as
oh
he
my
gets dragged
God,
away.
it's so funny. That hat is just a great MacGuffin for this entire show.
It really
'Cause
is.
it shows up every once in a while, and it's just like, yep, here we go. Okay, so These are in no particular order. I was thinking that we could finish each other off and tell no one.
Yeah.
I'm game if you are. And then they walk into the room, and the camera swings so you can look through the door, and Nandor is already looking at him with his hands up claw style, like doing the thing that they normally do. Like, and it's one of those things, if you don't catch it, it's not as funny, but you catch it and it's like, wait, what exactly is this going to entail? And then the door shuts. Like, it is... I almost soiled myself the first time I caught it. I was just like, what the fuck is happening? Like, because I was already laughing at the fact that, they're just going to go jerk each other off. And then the camera's not allowed in. That's hilarious. Wait, what is Nandor doing? Shut, end of episode. It's like, son of a bitch.
I think I've laughed so hard at this, I was thinking we finish each other off. I've never caught Nandor doing that. And now I'm so disappointed in myself.
Yeah,
I don't think I go back and watch this.
Yeah. I was going to say, I just learned that.
Anything. I was just busy laughing about the fact that they said we should finish each other off and tell nobody in front of a camera.
I think it's candlelight, and it's in front of the camera, exactly. But I think it's candlelight in the room, or it might be no light at all. It might just be ambient light from the outside, but you can just see him. He's standing there, like claws up, ready to go.
My God.
And then it cuts. It's so funny to me.
I'm so disappointed I haven't seen it. I guess oh no, I have to rewatch this. Dang.
Yeah, right?
Oh no.
I mean, it is a problem when I'm trying to play Elden Ring, but whatever.
Actually,
just
you know what?
rewatch
Now that
the
I'm looking at it, that probably is third in line. Now that I'm thinking, and I'll do my number 2 next. I think you just need a little up dog. Can we get some now?
Yes.
Oh my damn it! Oh. Like hands down. Like one of the perfect examples of this cast just playing off of each other and doing the fucking work and getting the job done for this show. Like, come on.
I mean, the great thing about that as well is when he finally gets someone to do it, he literally brings his grandmother back as a ghost, tells the joke, and then he's like, yeah, I gotta go now. Bye.
God
So
damn.
my number 2, like, and the other one didn't make the list because I chose that one over this one. But like the other one is when it's at the last episode when they're talking about the dry cleaning and Colin Robinson is like, look, there's a way. God, am I really gonna do this? There's a way to get your dry cleaning back. What? And he just goes into that whole spiel. It's just great. But this quote I think is my favorite of the season. And it is sent off by the MVP. I'm just another schlub driving around Brooklyn with a bunch of jars full of semen. Like, he's just so down on himself. But apparently that's a thing in Brooklyn because he's just another one of those guys. Like, what the fuck?
I forgot you weren't on our episode. We had a little chat about that where we're like,
really?
This probably would be a job. I mean, you do need that stuff in medical scenarios, so somebody has to deliver it.
Well, yeah, it's usually the person doing the delivery. Like, you usually go to a place and pull out a jar and do it, and you leave it there. You don't transport that shit. You certainly don't bring it from home because they're like, no, it has to be done here. Like,
Yeah, I'm surprised Guillermo didn't outsource that to Airbnb, or not Airbnb, Grubhub or something.
That'd be
Grubhub,
fucking hilarious.
Uber Eats.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Just get TaskRabbit. It'll be fine.
Uber Jizz.
What am I doing for you? You're just driving this somewhere. Don't worry about it. Don't open it either.
I'm like, transporter. Yeah, exactly. You Jason Statham the shit out of this. Just don't
Open the package.
Never open the package.
Someone's clearly used that for crime evidence or something, right?
Oh, for sure.
It's got to be by now.
I mean, it's not like they need any more evidence for any of these guys. They leave it everywhere, but
Oh my God. Yeah. the goo on the ceiling scene from the end of Ghosts.
That was almost in my.
Ectoplasm.
Yeah,
Since it couldn't
mine
be
too.
a quote, it was almost
Yeah.
a quote. I'm like, how do I make this work?
Yeah, I was right there with it because that's the one that I thought of. But then I was watching because I was gonna go watch Witches again, and for some reason I had to stop it at the end, so it picked up right at the end, and then Guillermo said that quote. I was like, holy shit, that's it. That's is my
winner.
favorite quote of the season. I absolutely fucking adore it. But yeah, the the whole process of him just carrying jars of semen around Brooklyn, being a vampire slayer, and doing the job that he normally does. Like, how often do they come in jars anyway?
Well, now he has to set it up. Oh my god! Like, there's just so much wrong with it.
Yeah.
It's don't
fantastic.
dig into that one. It's pretty gross.
I mean, I just always assumed he was just scooping it into jars.
Oh, that's even worse.
Just scraping it off the ceiling again.
At least hand me a jar that's already made. Like, I don't want to have to go collect the substance. No.
This mental image
Scrape
sucks.
it off, and then
this
add
is
a bit
just
of water.
This is supposed to be a fun episode. And now I'm just feeling gross. Let's move into our episodes. I think we've gotten there. Unless that was all your quotes, right, Drew? Because your best was
that was
okay,
all three.
perfect.
That was all three.
I just
Alright,
wanted to mention like one of the things that you were saying though about the show, like some of the stuff you can't really put it as a quote. It's like you were saying, like the Laszlo shrug.
Yeah.
One of my favorite moments in the series in this season is in On the Run, and it's the bit where the cloth is pulled off the mirror, and you just see the little shaker, the little cocktail shaker, shaking itself. I think it's one of the funniest sight gags. Because then you've got the immediate thing of like, charlatan, and then he goes, yes, and then he pulls off his disguise, and he's like, Cravensworth.
Everything about that scene is goddamn hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'm gonna go first for our ranking of the episodes because I was just so annoyed while making this. I didn't think this would be nearly as difficult to make as it was. But then again, here we are. So my top 3 are all tied. And then like my bottom 3 are all tied. And then the ones in the middle are actually pretty accurately stacked. But here we go. So my least favorite episode of the season, I don't even have a good reason for it. It's just that whenever I think back on it, there's so little I can remember beyond like a few gags here and there. It just doesn't do a lot for me. So I'm going number 8, episode 8, The Collaboration. Number 9, kind of the same sort of thing. There's wonderful jokes in it, like just side-splitting, hilarious jokes. But when it comes to like the actual full episode, not my favorite. I go with The Curse. And then the ending of the tie for the last place will be first episode, Resurrection. Just not my favorite episode. Kind of feels like a new pilot. Like they're trying to bring in more people. They're bringing the celebrities who are hilarious. I mean, Haley Joel Osment is hilarious in that episode, but it's still not my favorite one. So now kind of into the actual ranked, these are probably where they should be. I go Brain Scramblies, The Return, Ghosts, Nouveau Theatre de Vampires. Love all those episodes. They're all great. Order feels about right to me. And then my top 3, in no particular order, but I'm going to list them in an order because that's how words work. Colin's Promotion, Witches, The Return.
You said The Return twice.
Did I?
Yeah.
Huh. Well, The Return's my number 1. Do I have 11 on this list, or did I skip one?
No, you've missed On the Run.
Oh, fuck, that's my number 1.
Yeah.
The Return was supposed to be On the Run. I just kept getting the name wrong, so that's my number 1. I'm even thinking, the one with Mark Hamill. He returns.
Yeah, no.
Type, correct title, On the Run. That's what I was referring to. But like, in all honesty, like between Colin's Promotion, Witches, and On the Run, I can actually name the title right. I can't tell you which one's better. Like going into this season, I would have thought like vehemently On the Run because of everything we were just saying, like with that scene with Mark Hamill in the bar with the shaker and everything, and it's just unbelievably funny. But as we were going through these episodes and reviewing them, Witches destroyed me. From everything from the infinity hallway with the doors to the actual trial to the Judith moment, all of that is just painfully funny. And then Colin's promotion, like, we didn't talk a lot about Colin until now, but Colin has some of the best moments in this entire season, and a lot of them are jam-packed into this one episode. Yeah, I think it's a great season, and me ranking it was very, very difficult. So my rank is kind of for nothing, because like, nope, all good. These are the 3 that I didn't like as much as the rest, but they're still better than most television out there. So that's me. Who wants to go next?
I'll go. And simply because our list is almost the same for that. So my last is the, and again, like, putting here the disclaimer that, like, there really wasn't a bad episode in this season. It's just like some were just much funnier to me than others. So number 10 is Nuevo Theater and the Vampires. Like, that was the it just fell into that order for some reason. And number 9 was the first episode. Like I said, like the first and last episode of this season were my least favorite, but they were still great. Number 8 was Collaboration, which ironically was episode 8.
And your episode 10 was episode 10 as well.
Was episode 10. Yeah, exactly.
I'm catching a pattern here, Drew.
All right. Number 6 was Ghosts. Number 7 was Ghosts. Number 6 was The Curse. Number 5 was Witches for me. Because there's some great moments in there, but like The Return was number 4. And then 3, 2, 1. But the only swap out for this was The Witches for you. But 3, 2, 1 was Colin's Promotion, Brain Scramblies, and On the Run. And On the Run and Brain Scramblies for me was a close call, because like there's so much greatness happening with Mark Hamill just on the screen, and the over the top reactions that they have with each other. But Brain Scramblies, like, that episode, there's so much great interaction between the vampire and the human beings in that, which we don't get to see a whole lot. But the B-roll, or the B-side of that episode, is Nadia with the little girl that she actually was tormenting her entire life, living across the street. And then she finds out that she took her necklace, apparently, and she just loses her shit, acting like a vampire would, instead of trying to be all kind and benevolent to their human. Like, it's just, there's so much juxtaposition in this episode, and that interaction between those two, like especially in the end credits, like, well, could you turn me? Well, yeah, but I mean, you look like you would now. So, oh, well, I'll pass. Like, it's just great. Like, the writing and the timing on that episode was really, really superb, and that's why it was a close second to On the Run for me.
I feel like I did that episode a disservice leaving it down at number 7, but I'm holding by my list because it's what made sense to me at the time. But I
exactly.
agree with everything you just said, so I feel like I kind of fucked up.
I mean, like I said, like, Witches for me was number 5, but like it's got my favorite quote of it, of the season in it. So
it's a tough season to rank.
It's
a very
really
tough
is.
season to rank.
It really is.
Joel or Matt, who wants to go?
Joel, why don't you go?
Oh, that's very gentlemanly of you. Thank you. Anyway, so my number 10 was Collaboration.
Hey, we agreed.
I don't think it's a bad episode. I just think the main story arc and the characters surrounding Guillermo's departure they kind of bristle me in a way. So I think that's part of why it didn't quite latch onto me as well. 9 is Novo Theater de Vampires. I love the premise. I in some ways, I'm getting a little tired of the Vampire Council stuff popping up. And so I think that's part of what made that struggle with me a little bit. Number 8 was Resurrection. I did rewatch that one recently, and it's definitely still funny, but it's one of those that I almost always forget about when I'm doing season 2 watches. 7, The Return. Great episode for a lot of reasons, but just doesn't hit quite the same. 6 is Ghosts. 5 is Witches. 4 is Colin's Promotion. 3 is On the Run. 2 is The Curse, which surprised me because I was kind of middling on that one, but since it's right after my number 1, we ended up sort of like watching it pretty often as sort of a carryover, and it's really grown on me. Just the events that take place in that episode are inherently silly to me. And then 1 by a mile is Brain Scramblies. Just undisputed MVP of this season and maybe the whole series for me so far.
Wow. You guys are making me feel real bad about putting that at 7.
You know what? Good. You should feel bad.
Yeah, swim in it, you bastard.
Yeah, I hope you start crying.
I mean, it depends on how high up it is on Matt's list.
You're going to be crying.
Ah, fuck.
So for me, 10, collaboration again. Like, I think we've pretty much covered it all. There's a few really funny moments in it, but just overall, it just, I don't know. It is the sort of like the weakest episode, and it's also, I don't know. It's probably the one that I would skip if I was ever rewatching the season. You know, if I could only watch 9 episodes, that would be the one that I'd probably skip, because yes, there's some funny moments in, and yes, there's a lot of character development, but I don't know. It just doesn't work as well as the rest of the episodes. But it's still it's still a great episode. But you know, yeah,
that makes sense.
Number 9, The Curse. Again, really great moments with Guillermo. But the cauldron stuff, I don't know. It feels like it's a funny idea, but it gets kind of stale really quickly. Like, you know, the idea of them trying to get this this email forward thing. It just doesn't. It kind of feels like, oh well, we've got this idea, but we don't really know what to do with it, so we'll just put it like a B plot in this more Guillermo centric one. Number 8, Nuevo Theater des Vampires. I don't know if I've even said that right. Yeah, really good episode. As a finale, it's you could, like, I think we said at the time, the series could have ended there, and you'd have kind of accepted it. It would have been a weird ending, but it would have felt like a complete as well. Number 7 is Ghosts. Number 6, The Return. Number 5, Colin's Promotion. Surprisingly higher on my list than all yours is Resurrection at number 4. But for me, it's mainly for 2 reasons, really. The first one is Benedict Wong is just hilarious. Like, everything he says is amazing. Like, you know, I cannot stress the $250. Otherwise, the spell doesn't work. It just fucking genius, like.
Just
but
him texting while doing the spell.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And then scatting as well, like.
Yeah.
But the thing that keeps bringing that higher on my list is literally that one moment with Colin Robinson talking about what he did at summer. That he passed his driving license, he got his driver's license, got a convertible, and then blocked up the Brooklyn Bridge. Like, that every time. I think we've mentioned it on like 3 other episodes as well.
We've mentioned that was the joke I was hinting at earlier that wasn't in anybody's quotes that I was surprised.
Well, that's the thing.
We brought it up so many times.
Well, this is the thing. Really, it's not really so much of a quote. It's more the visual aspect of it. You know, he's there in his convertible. He's got a scarf. He's got driving goggles, driving gloves, and. You know, and he's just there sort of like, you know, oh, this is as annoying as it is for you as it is for me. And then he looks to the camera and he's got that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's all the visual stuff that makes that so funny, which is why it didn't end up in my quotes list.
Sure.
But for that one little moment, that bumped Resurrection up like 2 places in my list because it's just so funny.
Yeah, I get that.
And then my top 3, I honestly I cannot choose one that would like these 3 above each other. Really, so you got Witches, Brain Scramblers, or On the Run are all basically joint first for me. Because couldn't choose between them. And it's funny really because Witches always say like it starts off like the first half is not as, it just feels a little bit, I don't know, not as good as the rest of the episode. But the final half of that episode, oh my god, everything as soon as they get to that whatever it is, like the herbs or new age store or whatever it is, everything from then on is just amazing. Like you've got the stuff with the room full of the doors, and then you've got all the stuff with Nandor and Laszlo and the witches. It's just brilliant. And then capped off with that ending as well. Like, we should finish each other off and not telling one. Just brilliant.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's just so damn good.
Yeah.
That's it. I think we got to all of them, didn't we?
I think so.
Yeah.
So the one thing that I was going to do is just a final wrap up for our season 2 finale here. We've all seen season 3, and we might eventually do an entire season on season 3. But just a quick round the table. We don't have to go too into detail or anything. Just as our final, because usually what we do here is like, what would you want from future episodes? We already have future episodes, so we know what they are. What are your feelings on season 3? Like, do you think that it follows up the genius of seasons 1 and 2, and that we should recommend season 3? Or what do you guys think? And I'll get the ball rolling just so you kind of see what I'm talking about. I think season 3 is a very good season of TV. I think it's very funny. But I feel like there's something missing. And I can't tell you what it is, but it feels like there's some ingredient that's not quite there. And it could be because of the way they shot it during COVID, because you can tell there's some clear divide of these people are shooting with these people and these people are shooting with these people. That could have pulled me out of it. But I think by and large, it's a very funny season. They move the needle a lot. They're very aware of like the plot and like keeping the characters moving forward. And then it ends, I think, spectacularly leading up to a season 4 that's like, we need to change the game here. We can't keep doing the same thing over and over, or we're going to start losing people. And I think season 3 is very smart in acknowledging that and moving that forward, while also unfortunately delivering a season that's not quite as funny as the 2 that came before it. That's kind of my take on it.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. For some reason, I need to watch it again now, because the whole bit about like filming it during COVID, like that really never entered into my head as being part of why that could have been like that might have been like the X factor and why it wasn't great or as good as the first or second season. So I need to watch it again, but there are definitely some awesome moments in it. I feel like I can't remember if you said this on the air or off the air, but I feel like there was a little bit of disconnection between some of the cast and what was happening. Like, I feel like for some reason Matt Berry just did not give a fuck during some of the episodes. Not that he would normally. I don't.
No, I see what you mean, and I think personally, I think that comes down to COVID shooting. Like maybe the actor himself was like, I don't want to be here without a mask doing this, but now I have to. Like who knows what's going on behind the scenes? But I agree.
Yeah. Matt
Berry felt like Matt Berry in a few scenes. Like, that wasn't Laszlo. That was an actor being paid to be there. And like, I don't mean to take a shots at the guy, because obviously he's incredibly talented and I'm a diehard fan of him. But there were moments that didn't feel like Laszlo, that yanked me out of a show that's been so consistent the whole time.
For a character who relies so much on facial expressions and responses, you could tell that there was something not quite there comparably.
Yeah.
I think like we said, I think it all comes down to the fact that it's during COVID, we've got some very clear breakups of these characters are being grouped together, these characters are being grouped together. Like there's a lot of stuff where Laszlo and Colin Robinson are just kind of away from the other two, so it's kind of like you can sort of see like, oh well, okay, these two actors were in a bubble, these actors were in a bubble, because there's very little of when the whole cauldron's together. There's a lot of separation in that season, and I think that's where it sort of it is hurt, because I think season 1 and 2 are so great because of how all the characters interact with each other. The chemistry between, like, it's difficult to get 2 actors to have good chemistry. It's really difficult to get 3. It's nigh on impossible to get 5 actors have such good chemistry, and these guys do it. And it feels effortless. It feels like they have actually been living together for all this time. And to sort of break that up, I can kind of see that, like, maybe they wanted to take it in a bit of a different direction, explore some other relationships. That's fine. But to do it for such a long period of time throughout most of the season, it just felt like it was missing something. And that's where I sort of stand, or that's where I sort of like feel on it. And I do agree, like, there are some episodes where they do sort of feel like, I mean, you can kind of guess where they were in terms of, like, where COVID was at the time they were shooting, like how much of a height that it was at the time, because you can sort of see that they look a little bit, I don't know, it's not so much burnt out, but like they're just kind of there and almost like going through the motions a little bit.
Yeah, and then it kind of has like the Loki Disney Plus problem of, like, you can see the markers on the floor almost of, like, this is 6 feet apart. Like, no one can stand like a certain distance close to each other. Like, it gets kind of weird at points. But yeah, I think we all kind of agree. It's a good season. It's just kind of unfortunate following one of the best, like, 1-2 punches of, like, beginnings of a show ever, that you kind of, like, you feel that drop off far more than you do in other shows.
I feel like with COVID, it was always going to be difficult because of the restrictions they were going to be under in what they could do, like, filming wise. So I think to the fact that we got a good season out of it, like, we've got some really funny episodes. Like, there are some episodes which are really funny.
Oh yeah.
I think it's kind of a testament to, like, the fact that we do still have a good season. It's not like, oh my god, it's kind of like, there's some series where, you can tell where they've shot through curve and it's a bit like, oh, this feels a bit really laborious to get through it, and it doesn't feel natural. Whereas, like you were saying, like, people are quite clearly standing 6 feet apart from each other.
Yeah.
They should have waited. That's my short take. Like, I understand business calls and the churn of Hollywood doesn't stop, but, like, artistically speaking, if they wanted to maintain the same level of quality without sacrificing it, they should have waited until we were at a period of time where they could produce something more consistent. It's like they split off at times, but they're an ensemble cast. Like, they're one piece together, and it reminds me of some of the problems of Arrested Development in the 4th season, where it was clear they were trying to work around lots of different people's schedules, and so they all got split up in weird ways. It from a quality of television standpoint, that probably would have served it the best. And I may have already let loose in my top 10 about why season 3 also doesn't quite hit the right notes for me, but yeah.
Like, I will still look forward to season 4. I will watch every episode as they air, and I'm excited to do it. Like, it didn't lose me. It's just kind of like, it has the potential to lose me now, which feels so bad. Like, what a horrible thing to say at the end of, like, a show I love. But
well, because the change goes from, like, I can't wait to see the next episode because I know it's going to be hilarious, to I want to see the next episode to see what happens. Because, like you mentioned, it does story specific and focused, that, the humor did take a back seat to some degree.
Yeah, I think it does sometimes feel like they forgot it was a comedy.
Yeah.
It's kind of a bummer, but as we keep saying, like, we do keep having that caveat. I would say, even with everything we just said, which was even, like, a little more negative than I even thought I would have been, but it's still worth watching. I think it's still funny. If you enjoyed the first 2 seasons, you're still going to enjoy it. Just,
Oh yes, it's not like Heroes season 1 to Heroes season 2.
Or 2 to 3 or 3 to 4. Ooh, man, that show got worse every minute.
Damn.
I mean, yeah.
Woof.
Yeah. So it's not Heroes.
Yeah.
Noted. Holy shit.
Oh boy. I think we've done this. I want to end on a somewhat more positive note, which I don't really have that much to say because we've been talking for over an hour at this point. So I'm just going to go with I really love this show. And I'm really, really glad we did the first 2 seasons of this because this was a blast. And I hope you guys agree.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's I think we can give plugs a break this week. This is not our normal episode. It's a series finale. You guys okay saying no plugs this week?
Yeah, sure.
They already know what we're talking about.
Exactly.
Yeah. They
So
already
now
know that
I've
I'm going to make some sort of joke about butt plugs or sink plugs or something like that.
Yeah. We all know what we're gonna do. So instead of to forego our normal plugs, I will say be sure to tune in next week when we start our brand new show, Reggie's 4-Barrel Ice Cream, and we're gonna talk about the first Phantasm movie, and then moving forward from there, the rest of the Phantasm franchise. Whoo boy! Rewatching the first one last night, and then again this morning.
Why did you do that?
This is gonna be a ride, and I fully intend to give you Cheery's review every week, and I'm hoping if Kelly watches along, we can get Kelly's point of view too from Joel's side, because her first take was goddamn hilarious.
She was both disgusted and refuses to let me watch these alone. So yeah.
Oh wow, even better. I hate that. You have to watch them with me. That's perfect. That is Phantasm in a nutshell.
I love those films.
I mean, I do too. I love them so much. Tune in next week. We'll talk way more about that. And Drew, are you joining us next week? I don't remember what you said.
No, I probably will not, unfortunately.
That's A-okay.
There's a lot of stuff going on right now that I'm trying to get my head around.
So. A-okay. So we'll see Drew again in the future. We'll leave that door nice wide open, and whenever Drew feels like coming back, we'll see Drew again. But thank you, Drew, for joining us for What We Do in the Shadows. This came out of a, hey, we need somebody to join. Maybe Drew would be available. You stuck with us throughout the whole thing, and what a fun guest you've been.
Thanks, man. Yeah, thanks, guys. It's been a blast. I really, really love this show. I haven't listened to it yet. I kind of don't want to, in the sense that I know that I can never go back and be a part of it, but I haven't listened to the Venture Brothers one. But I love Venture Brothers so much, and eventually, like, I'll be on a road trip and I'll start it up.
There you go.
But yeah.
Well, when they do the Venture Brothers movie, you can come on and join us on the inevitable podcast that we'll be doing of that.
Absolutely be covering that. Yeah, we will absolutely be covering that. And then you'll get the joy of listening to Matt slowly creep his way into this network. If you listen to that.
Yeah. See, the season 3 finale is the first time I ever recorded a podcast, and then I wouldn't leave. So I was on the season 4 episode as well. I was like, no, it's fine. I'll stick around.
Playing the long game.
Love it.
I mean, it worked out well. I mean, I love taking shots at Matt, but this show would not be the same without him. So, and then, I'll say something nice about Joel, too. Joel, you stuck around after Resident Evil. Why the fuck you did that? I'll never understand, but thank you for sticking around.
Well, I was rewarded this time up until now, so.
Yeah. I mean...
this is great until Phantasm.
to be fair, like, with the Resident Evil ones, still... my favorite episode we've ever recorded of a podcast is still Resident Evil 2.
Absolutely. And I say that with all Adventure Brothers and everything we've done here. My favorite thing we've recorded is Resident Evil 2.
So funny. Just like the amount I've not laughed so much like recording something, just because it was just so much fun to just go through like with everyone. Like, I always find it's when we've got 4 people, so like when the episodes where we've had all of us able to record, there's always a bit more fun because you've got like a few other people throwing stuff in you didn't think of as well.
And Joel's just complete disbelief of Alice running down the wall will always make me laugh.
To increase the speed of gravity, run down the wall.
That'll be one of the last thoughts I have on my deathbed, I'm sure.
Increase the speed of gravity.
Ooh, man. So yeah, I think we've done it. Thank you everyone so much for listening. This has been an absolute blast. I really hope we do a season 2 to this at some point. That'll be up to What We Do in the Shadows. Hopefully they stay as amazing as they have been. We'll see you next week with Phantasm, Reggie's 4-Barrel Ice Cream. Woo!
That fucking name.